To be honest, the reason I decided to never have Marshall and Raymond on an island together very early was because I had a legitimate concern that they could and would cut me out of their business dealings and just chum around without me. On my Animal Crossing's New Horizons island, Cookie Island, we have had some friends come and go since it was established in late 2021. We've recently settled into the final and permanent cast of animal villagers that will live forever on Cookie Island. I will introduce them to you now. Starting with the five ladies on Cookie Island. My lovely, oh, so snooty villager is Anka. It is not an understatement to say that snooty, smug, and cranky villagers can be the trickiest to build up and maintain rapport with. Anka and I are besties, and she is so delightful and sweet. I love mythology and had a blast decorating the outside of her home. I'm looking forward to helping her with the inside of her house because before I knew better, I did let her gift me the centerpiece from our home, the pyramid, and deeply regretted it immediately because it looked so blank. I have tried to gift her two golden mysterious altars and a golden throne to fill the clear gap, and she never put them out. I really don't know what's up with that. Makes me so mad. I will do a separate final home reveal of the villagers later. It just had way too much going on to fully dig into the DLC yet, but I do plan to do so in the future. I love that Anka is so happy and Cookie that she even has zoomies along with other animal friends in the main area. It seems like she would be someone that's too cool for that, so it was really cute to see. My cute and preppy villager is Bunny. Bunny has been with us for a very long time. She is so adorable, upbeat, and preppy. She just feels like a cheerleader in the best way. We have a long-standing picnic plans, and I wish there was a way to actually plan outings with our villagers. I take any opportunity to talk to her, and it's always a delight. She's got such an adorable vibe. I do appreciate the newer feature that lets them come talk to me while I'm out and about the island. If they do this, then they can come into the house and go room to room versus when they show up randomly, which is really fun. I decorated an area outside of her house to have a charming Sakura vibe because I felt it was a really good fit for her personality and aesthetic. I believe one day she will fully realize her dreams of being a pop princess. My sweet sisterly villager with an edge is Cherry. Cherry is so delightful and so adorable. The custom slogan I gave her is Pug Life because she's got a bit of an edgy and tough vibe with her details and clothing, but with a heart of gold. Cherry is the embodiment of looks like she could kill you, but is a cinnamon roll. Meme. It's her vibe. I love it so much. Of course, she has cherry trees around her yard and other flattering decor that matches her vibes. She's been with us a very long time, and I just find her so fun. My two adorable normal villagers are Maple and Ione. Maple, showing up in my visitor area, was what inspired me to rethink my final villager lineup a bit. Everyone had been there at that point and had been there for over a year. She is so charming and adorable, and I love decorating the area outside of her house. I'm looking forward to building up more rapport with her, and seeing her vibing out around in nature and around the island is such a delight. Ione was a villager that had lived for a long time on a friend's island, and when she decided to make a change, Ione came to live with me instead. She's so adorable, and I was absolutely delighted when I realized she glows in the dark. It was so cool! Ione still has some of her clothes and sayings from the last island she lived on. I decorated her backyard to look like she landed in her space shuttle. Figuring out these cute gyroids look adorable on the glowing boulders was such a cool discovery. Really helped pull the look together. Next, we have the 5 lads on Cookie Island. My business buddy and smug villager. To be honest, the reason I decided to never have Marshall and Raymond on an island together very early was because I had a legitimate concern that they could and would cut me out of their business dealings and just chum around without me. Seriously, though, this guy can one moment give you a bombastic side eye and say the sweetest thing the next. I love to get little fancy suits and jackets that complement his color scheme and aesthetic and gift them to him so he always looks like a fancy little gentleman he is. It's just so adorable. Oh, Marshall. My cranky villager with old school samurai vibes is Kabuki. Kabuki is a newer addition, and it feels neat to have 2 ancient civilization vibes cat villagers on the island together. Like all cranky villagers, he brings some serious old man energy, but in the very best possible way you could ever imagine. I always love what these guys say. Literally had a cranky villager one time say the line about being pretty sure he has a house at least while standing next to it. I endeavor to be like this when I'm older. It's just so unapologetic and hysterical. I went all out with the structure of this yard when Tex is still here, but truly Kabuki's home and the way he dresses are far more perfect vibe for this area and inspired a higher level of design that delights me. I'm just lucky I have a friend who has played longer and took cataloging all items in the game super seriously so we could fully pull this look together. OG jock villager that has been with me from the very beginning is Teddy. His custom sayings include calling me Honey Bear, which is an IRL nickname my husband calls me that I thought would be cute here as he is a bear. Early on in the island's development, he stood in a spot and declared this spot to be an outside gym, or at least the perfect place for one. I literally took him so seriously and built it out, even though it was behind the museum, which was maybe not optimal, placement for that. However, and over the first year or more that I had made that, he literally never used it. I was like, what the heck, Teddy? I went to all this effort and you didn't use it for over a year, but finally he started going over that way and actually bouncing the ball and like vibing in the b-ball court and, poking things in that area. Like he's not, I wouldn't call what he's done over there working out. Maybe one time I saw him like preparing like he was about to jog. But at least now he's discovered it after a year. So my efforts were not in vain. But what's kind of funny is it's literally so close to his house. So it's like, why? Why did this take so long? He does also have some very cute sporty decor in his yard as well. It is a hot spot for other animals to sit and read books, which is so adorable. It honestly reminds me of that movie Sandlot. He's like this cute jock, bro-y guy that just gets along with everyone, and everyone feels comfortable hanging out at his place. My 2 snack-loving, lazy villagers are Lucky and Sasha. Lucky has been with us a very long time, and it seemed for a while that he wasn't making good friends with the other villagers. He always was complaining about not having a snack buddy. And I felt so sad because I wasn't sure how to do that. Like I would try to give him snacks, he would save them for later. So I would have been a snack buddy, but ultimately I started seeking out options of bringing another villager in to be his snack buddy. And that is why I brought in Sasha. However, in the meantime, before I got Sasha on the island, Maple was such a doll and she ended up being a main snack buddy of his, so now he has 2 options. One day, I wasn't recording. He actually had a full-on existential crisis about realizing he was in a game that I dearly wish I'd captured. It was a dialogue that I hadn't seen before or since, and I had been far more aggressive about recording more often than not after missing that gem. The entire inside of his home was decorated with spooky graveyard vibes, so I made a full-on graveyard behind his home and a shared snack area with Marshall in front of their house. Sasha lives next to Bunny and above Lucky. To ensure the 2 lazy villagers don't have to walk too far to share snacks was the main consideration. But it was also awesome I can slip some cute Bunny Day decor here and there between Sasha and Bunny's homes. He has a whole picnic set up that is very color-coded to him. It was with quite a delicious looking spread. Sasha is such a cutie. I get why he's popular, though he is a newer villager. When I was looking at adding a male bunny, he definitely stuck out as one of the main contenders. For some reason, I love gifting him sailor hats and that sort of vibe clothing. It just seems so cute on him for some reason. Previous turn of my villagers was in part because I didn't understand that they would all be eternally in a cycle of asking to leave, but not an actual plan of where they would go afterwards. And then if they left, they actually went into the void. Now that I know that, I very carefully selected my final set to avoid this in the future. So I want to commemorate the friends I had along the way the last few years with my Cookie Island on Animal Crossing New Horizons. The past villagers are listed in order from least to long to how long they're around with us on Cookie Island, not from their first appearance. We have Diana, Angus, Chevry, however you say that name, sorry, Eric, Pashmina, and Ursula. I don't have many memories of Diana, Angus, Chevry, Eric, Pashmina, or Ursula. They all have their own charms, but I simply didn't understand that they would all just ask on a cycle to leave, and I let them go far too quickly. I wish I had more memories with them, and I do regret this very much to this day. Chester sticks out because he was, I think, the very first lazy type villager on the island, and the first to ever ask to leave. He made a very convincing plea that he wanted to go taste all the snacks the world had to offer. Who was I to hold him back? I thought he was very cute though and had a distinctive look as a panda. So when he popped up on my DLC island, I jumped at the chance to lock him in there because I had long regretted letting him go so quickly because I didn't understand how the system worked. I loved having Apollo on the island, but he asked to leave so quickly. Like with most crinkly villagers, it would be hard to build rapport with him, and I hadn't quite gotten the knack by the time that Apollo was on my island. I didn't think I would let him go at all at first. But he was very, very, very aggressively asking consistently over and over, even when I was trying to keep him because I just thought he's such a cool look as a bald eagle. I eventually did let him go because he just didn't seem to be fitting in or happy. Kind of hurt my feelings a little bit, but I've now thankfully gotten the knack of how to build rapport with all the different personality types. I'm glad that now I have much deeper, friendlier relationships with cranky villagers that are on my islands. It's just kind of a little sad chapter in the past. Stings sometimes. I feel like that stings sometimes. Remember how cute he was, and he always wanted to go away. Ray. The fact she has a strawberry on her nose always drew me to her. That is such a cute feature, and overall she has such a fun aesthetic, both with her look and the inside of her house. At the time that she was on my island was when I did not have access to my recording tools, so there's little to no footage of her, like a lot of the villagers from the past. But I still have fond memories of how adorable she was. Tom. Tom was the cranky villager that was with me for a very long time. I would have been happy keeping him right where he was, but ultimately had a theme I wanted to fulfill for my villagers after Maple showed up. So I went ahead and singled him out for Kabuki. He is great though, and I love the time that he was on the island. He was the first cranky villager that I ever seemed to really build solid rapport with and fully settled in, and was there for over a year. Made me start having some confidence in my abilities of how to build rapport with cranky villagers. I guess you could call him the turning point. Dora. Dora is such a cute little mouse that loves books and reading. I loved her dressing in adventure outfits and clothes and Alice in Wonderland dresses and giving her books and library type items, like the mini library and library wallpaper. She was on Cookie for a very long time. We have a lot of great memories. When I decided to put Sasha in her spot, it actually took months for her to bubble because she was so settled in. If I had started there, I may have called the whole project off because it took so long, but I was already fully committed at that point and had already cycled out the villagers that I was planning to swap out. I would love to have her on another island in the future, and I'm thinking of finding a way to bring her to my DLC island later. She has such a gentle and sweet scholarly vibe that is so very, very charming. Kind of like Sailor Mercury from Sailor Moon. Tex. Tex is awesome. He always had such a cute smirk and said a lot of funny quips and one-liners. He was also on the island for a very long time. He and Cherry were my husband's besties on the island. And until he stopped playing as often, I never would have been able to have dreamed of letting Tex go. Tex and my husband used to have late night jam sessions and have a cute smirky greeting when they do see each other. That was so cute. He still can do that with Cherry if he ever logs in again, because they have a similar vibe. I think life probably just got a bit busy, so maybe at some point he'll come play again and get to know the new additions. Frita. Frita was my original sisterly character that started on the island with me. I loved how quirky she was and rarely gave her other clothes because she dressed in a hot dog outfit is kind of an amazing choice, and she really just owned it. She also very eloquently explained how comfy it was and how confident she felt in her hot dog suit. So go off, Queen. If that's how you're comfortable, power to you. I would probably want to bring her to the DLC Vacation Island as well at some point. I do miss her presence on the island, but we already had a few good years together, so it was bittersweet, but a good practice of letting things go, because I just get overly attached to things. So probably on the broader scope, this was good. Just keep in mind that up to Meringue, they all had convinced me that they had a big dream and desire to leave, and I stupidly trusted them and let them go to the void. For over a year past the point of realizing what was actually happening, no villagers were allowed to leave, and Tom, Dora, Tex, and Frida were with us for a very, very long time. I only ended up letting them go in the end in order to complete the final theme I decided upon for the villagers. If you hadn't noticed when I went through the final villagers list, there's 2 bunnies, 2 cats, 2 dogs, 2 bears, and 2 squirrels. It is admittedly a very normcore island with a few distinct areas. I did my best to also ensure the areas around the villager homes were themed to them, so in a way the villagers in a big way impact the vibe of the island. So this is why I prioritized this, though I did dearly enjoy having Dora, Tex, and Frida on the island especially. And Tom was really cool too. All the other animal villagers along the way had their own charm. I honestly have yet to find a villager I didn't like. They all have their own cute, quirky, and fun personalities. I know some folks fixate on hunting for them, having favorites, and even actively hate certain ones. Maybe it's because I haven't played the older games, and some of them were particularly smashy in their youth. But I do genuinely think they all have their own charms. My goal when designing an island with a theme going forward would be to have the villagers match the theme. If you want to discover how Catadoodles learned the hard way that gaming was invaluable in helping achieve a healthy work and life balance, you can check out that video now. Link in description and end card. Thank you for watching and see you next time.